Hey everybody, Ace Channelim here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form or a branched evolution or counterpart Pokemon. We have a look at the differences between the Pokemon in question and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome battle between them just for a little bit of fun. If you're already a fan of Form Fight and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button, show you're enjoying this series. Of course, let's get to 1,000 likes on this video if we can, and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And of course, use code ACE, save yourself some money on G Fuel. I'm gonna drink some more Black on Blackberry today because it's really good. It's actually really good. You should get this with code ACE for definite. I'm drooling because it's so freaking good. With all that out the way, let's have a look at today's challenges. Today on Form Fight, we're going to be comparing the evolved forms of Zigzagoon, which are Linoone, Galarian Linoone, and of course Obstagoon. Now, a Zigzagoon caught anywhere other than the Galar region will be in its regular form and will evolve into regular Hoenn Linoone at level 20? Let's go with that. A Zigzagoon caught in the Galar region will be in its Galarian form and will evolve into Galarian Linoone at level 20. And once it hits level 35 or higher and is leveled up at night, it will further evolve into Obstagoon. But what makes these evolved forms of Zigzagoon so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, both forms of Linoone stand at 0.5 meters tall and weigh 32.5 kilograms. The Pokedex information for the Hoenn form of Linoone says that its fur is strong and supple. Shaving brushes made with shed Linoone hairs are highly prized. It uses its explosive speed and razor-sharp claws to bring down prey. Running along winding paths is not its strong suit. The Pokedex information for Galarian Linoone says it uses its long tongue to taunt opponents. Once the opposition is enraged, this Pokemon hurls itself at the opponent, tackling them forcefully. This very aggressive Pokemon will recklessly challenge opponents stronger than itself. As for Obstagoon, it stands at 1.6 meters tall and weighs 46 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says its voice is staggering in volume. Obstagoon has a tendency to take on a threatening posture and shout. This move is known as Obstruct. It evolved after experiencing numerous fights. While crossing its arms, it lets out a shout that would make any opponent flinch. Appearance-wise, Linoone and Galarian Linoone both resemble honey badgers, with regular Linoone having tan fur and darker stripes, which also form an arrow on its head, and blue eyes, and Galarian Linoone having black and white fur with grey tufts around its wrists and a black star shape around each of its red eyes, with its pink tongue constantly hanging out. Obstagoon, on the other hand, looks effectively like a buffer, bipedal Galarian Linoone, with grey fur around its forearms and shins, and a kind of grey fur vest, with white star shapes on its upper deltoids and a large black mane. In their shiny forms, regular Linoone's dark stripes turn orange, and the black and grey parts of Galarian Linoone and Obstagoon turn pink and bright blue respectively, and their eyes and tongue also turn blue. Now let's have a look at their typing, weaknesses, and resistances. Regular Linoone is a pure normal type Pokemon, which makes it only weak to fighting type moves. It has no resistances and is completely immune to ghost type attacks. Galarian Linoone and Obstagoon are dual type dark and normal type Pokemon. This makes them weak to fighting, bug, and fairy type attacks, with the fighting type weakness being a 4x weakness. They resist only dark type moves and are completely immune to both ghost and psychic type attacks. Now let's take a look at their stats and abilities. Both forms of Linoone share the same base stats, boasting great speed and decent HP with pretty average stats for the rest. They share the same primary ability, which is Pickup, which picks up a single-use item at the end of a turn in which another Pokemon has used said item. This can create interesting situations for Linoone, but it's probably better to go into battle already holding an item, rather than hoping for a random one to be received in an in-progress fight. They share the same secondary ability, which is Gluttony, which causes Linoone to eat a held berry that would normally be consumed at 25% HP at 50% HP instead. This is pivotal to a belly drum Linoone strategy, as it allows this fragile but speedy Pokemon to maximize its attack to +6 whilst restoring itself back up to full HP. They share the same hidden ability, which is Quick Feet, which increases Linoone's speed by 50% if it has a status condition, and prevents it from losing speed if paralyzed. This is great for giving Linoone even more chance to get in quick attacks before its inevitable demise, although I still prefer Gluttony out of these three abilities. Obstagoon, being a new evolution of Linoone, builds somewhat on Linoone's stats. It loses a smidge of speed, but increases its HP, attack, and defense to decent levels, and its special defense to an above average level as well. It does also get a 10 base power increase in special attack, but that feels kind of pointless. Its primary ability is Reckless, which increases the power of moves which cause recoil damage or crash damage by 20%, which for Obstagoon applies to literally only Double Edge, Submission, and Takedown. which doesn't feel particularly breathtaking. Its secondary ability is Guts, which increases Obstagoon's attack by 50% if it has a status condition, and also it doesn't lose attack power when it's burned. This is excellent for getting more firepower out of Obstagoon, and given that it gives a bigger increase in power than Reckless, it already beats that ability. The only downside is needing to have a status condition to get the boost, which can either limit Obstagoon's time on the field, or in the case of Paralysis, can leave Obstagoon unable to attack at all. Its hidden ability is Defiant, which increases Obstagoon's attack by 2 stages if it has a stat reduced. This is one of my favourite abilities, especially against Intimidate Pokemon, who reduce Obstagoon's attack by 1 stage, only for it to increase it back up to +1 from the get-go. Giving Obstagoon increased attack is always a blessing, and Defiant is a great way of maximising it with minimal effort. Now it's time for me to decide which of these Zigzagoon evolutions I prefer, and I'm gonna go with Obstagoon. As much as I love Belly Drum Linoone as a strategy, especially with the normal type Linoone that doesn't have the 4x fighting weakness, I just prefer the evolved form with the much better stats. Like, even with its 4x weakness, Obstagoon's got a better bit of staying power in it, and it's got more attack power behind it. Plus it gets the Defiant ability, and that's one of my favourite abilities in Pokemon, so I'm a little bit biased there. And its shiny form is absolutely incredible as well. Like, what an amazing choice for the shiny colours, for Linoone's Galarian form and for Obstagoon as well. But Obstagoon, for me, takes the cake. But of course, it's not just up to me, it's up to you guys to decide which is your favourite. But before you do, let's see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome battle. And because I know you guys pretty well, and I know you're going to want to see Linoone versus Obstagoon, as well as Linoone versus Galarian Linoone, that's exactly what you're getting. The first battle will be Linoone versus the Galarian form, and then the second battle is going to be Linoone versus Obstagoon itself. So have fun with that. Before we get started, I will point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats. They're not holding any items. They've got neutral natures. As always on Form Fight, everyone's got their hidden abilities. So Linoone are both going to have Quick Feet. Obstagoon's going to have Defiant. The only advantage or disadvantage any of these Pokemon are going to get comes from their typing and their base stats. Everything else is all up to the Metronome. Let's go. Here we go, the first of 2 Form Fight Metronome battles you're getting today. It's Linoone versus Galarian Linoone, the battle of the Honey Badgers, which is something I've always wanted to say on Form Fight, so I'm so glad this is a thing. Thank you, Pokemon, for giving us Galarian Linoone. I love it so much. Here we go, though, over to the shiny Hoenn Linoone with a Fell Stinger. That is going to be super effective on that Galarian Linoone. Massive damage from the get-go onto Shiny Galar, my word, who is going to get an opportunity to fire back. What will it go for? Goes for Fusion Bolt. Mate, they are starting off strong in this Form Fight, my word. Here's the Fusion Bolt from Shiny Galar onto the regular Hoenn Linoone. I'm just going to say Hoenn Linoone instead of Hoennian. Here's the regular Galarian Linoone, who is going to go for Shadow Claw. I got confused then. For some reason, my head said Zigzagoon. Shadow Claw, of course, doesn't affect the normal type Pokemon Linoone. Here's a Mega Drain from the regular Linoone onto that shiny Galarian Linoone there. A little bit of HP restoring as well. Turn 1, a very exciting turn. Very interesting battle between Shiny Galar and regular Hoenn, who is incidentally starting off the next turn. Goes for Bite, which is not going to be very effective on the dark type Galarian Linoone, but could cause it to flinch though. We see Shiny Galar is gearing up, getting ready. Is it going to retaliate? It's going to go for Fire Lash onto which of the Linoone? Onto the shiny Linoone there. Decent amount of damage from that Fire Lash. Drops the defense 1 stage as well, which is not good for Linoone. Here's the regular Galarian form, who's going to go for Trick Room, which doesn't really matter here because everybody's the same speed. Everyone's got the same base stats, but sure, whatever you want to do, my dude. Shiny Hoenn is getting ready to attack. Oh, I just realized it has yellow eyes as well. Here's a Mega Kick, though, which is going to be stab boosted as well. Huge damage. Brings Shiny Galar down into the danger zone. I thought that was all she wrote for Shiny Galar then, but it still hangs on like that annoying bit of toothpaste that sticks to the sink and you just can't quite get to it for some reason. Here's Cotton Guard, though, from regular Hoenn. Very smart play there. Increase that defense by, I believe it's 3 stages. Yes, drastically. 3 stages of defense increase there. Shiny Hoenn is getting ready as well. What's it going to do? Going to go for Dragon Dance, increase its speed and its attack, but Trick Room's in effect. So doesn't that guarantee it's the last Pokemon to move on the field right now? I mean, its attack's increased, which is very important. But I guess we'll see what happens in this Metronome battle. Shiny Galar is prepared and going to go for Foul Play, which is a great idea with that stab boost there. Onto that regular Hoenn Linoone, but that defense boost that it took, that +3 defense is just so intense right now. Here's a Heat Wave from the regular Galarian Linoone. That is going to hit both the Hoenn Linoone. Just say Hoenn. Just say Hoenn. Hoenn Linoone, both of them hit by the Heat Wave. That's all you need to know in this current Form Fight Metronome Battle contest. We see regular, high horsepower coming out from the regular Hoenn Linoone there onto the Galarian Linoone for a decent amount of chip damage there. It is going to get an opportunity to retaliate with Tita Dance. It's going to confuse everybody on the field except itself. Look how good Tita Dance looks in this generation. It's very, very nice. I know it's such a simple animation, but it's so much better than it used to be. The whirl, whirl that it used to do was so lame. Now it's actually a dance, and I love it. So everybody on the field's confused except for regular Galarian Linoone there. Could that scupper? I mean, shiny Galarian Linoone is going to ignore the confusion. It's so close to death, though. Ancient Power coming out. Will they get the stat boost that it needs with that Ancient Power? It doesn't get the stat boost. Does a decent amount of damage to shiny Hoenn. Brings it down to less than half its max HP. And shiny Hoenn is going to ignore the confusion there. Goes for Worry Seed. So going to change the ability of regular Galarian Linoone into Insomnia so it can't fall asleep, which means if it uses Rest, it will fail. So Quick Feet is no more, and Insomnia is the ability of the regular Galarian Linoone there. Of course, Shiny Galar's got to be careful, because if it hits itself in confusion, it may well knock itself out of this competition. That's worth keeping in mind. Here's a Razor Shell, though, from the regular Galarian Linoone. Massive damage, putting Shiny Hoenn in the danger zone. Shiny Galarian Linoone is confused, hits itself in confusion. As we said, and down it goes. That is exactly what I was talking about. We're down to 1 Galarian Linoone and 2 regular Linoone there. The regular Hoenn Linoone is getting ready with the Metronome, ignoring that confusion. Gonna go for Aqua Tail onto that Galarian Linoone there. It's going to do a decent chunk of damage as well with that critical hit, so a great Aqua Tail there. Here's the shiny Hoenn Linoone, who is going to hit itself in confusion and knock itself out. Amazing. So we've just had 2 deaths by confusion in this form fight. This has been great so far. Oh my word. The Hoenn Linoone and the Obstagoon teams have a lot to live up to after this battle. Here we see the regular Galarian Linoone, who's going to go for Reflect, which is going to increase its protection against physical hits. So quite a smart play there, to be honest, especially up against the Linoone. Here is the regular Hoenn Linoone, who's going to ignore that confusion once again, gear up with that Metronome, and is going to go for Earth Power, which is a special attack, so that Reflect will have no effect on it. It's huge damage and takes down Galarian Linoone, so your Hoenn Linoone team has won this Metronome battle. Well done to them, but sit tight, because we got another Metronome battle yet to come, and it's going to be so much fun. And here we go, let's get right into it. So now it's regular Linoone versus Obstagoon. This is going to be a very interesting form fight. Of course, the Linoone team is at the statistical disadvantage because the Obstagoon has a more evolved base stat total and certainly has a lot more bulk and a lot more power. So shiny Linoone is going to start things off. It's going to go for Gunk Shot to start things off. So it's going to go for a nice strong poison type attack there and maybe hope to get the poison on that regular Obstagoon there. Of course, you don't want to drop any stats on these Obstagoon because they are hidden abilities, so they are going to be defiant. Regular Linoone's going to go for Dazzling Gleam, which is super effective on both the Obstagoon. They're starting off with a purpose. The regular Obstagoon is already looking to be in a little bit of a dangerous position. Shiny Obstagoon is going to start things off for its team with Speed Swap. That's an incredible play. That is a fantastic play because now there's a speed tie between shiny Obstagoon and shiny Linoone. That's incredible. Here we see Storm Throw, which is going to be super effective coming out from the regular Obstagoon. Huge damage to the regular Hoenn Linoone there. Critical hit as well from that Storm Throw. Of course, Storm Throw always gets a critical hit, I believe. Bringing it down to less than half its max HP. Shiny Hoenn's going to start things off for its team for the next turn. Going to go for Roost, but its HP is full. Very unfortunate play right there. Shiny Obstagoon, of course, is the other fastest Pokemon on the field, who's going to go for Horn Attack, which is going to have Stab behind it. Massive damage. Almost takes down regular Hoenn Linoone there. How's it going to respond to that? It's going to go for Parting Shot and lower the attack and special attack by 1 stage apiece, I believe, of that the shiny Obstagoon there, which isn't great because that's going to increase its attack. It's now at +1 attack. Oh my word. And then its special attack drops and gets another Defiant boost, so it's now at +3 attack. Shiny Obstagoon is at +3 attack. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be good for the Linoone team. Focus Blast, which is avoided by Hoenn Linoone. That could have been absolutely dreadful. That would have absolutely knocked out the regular Hoenn Linoone there. Here's the shiny Hoenn Linoone, who's going to go for Wood Hammer, which is going to do neutral damage to that regular Obstagoon there. A big chunk of damage as well. Critical hit, but it is going to do recoil damage as well to shiny Hoenn. They need to get rid of the shiny Obstagoon if they've got any chance of winning this battle. Shiny Obstagoon is getting ready with Discharge. That's going to hit everybody on the field. You've got to think that should be enough to take 9 hit points, and it does. It takes 9 hit points off Hoenn Linoone, who is now down. We have just the shiny Linoone left, and 2 Obstagoon looking very smug, very full of themselves. Electro Web comes out from the regular Obstagoon there, which is going to drop the speed of shiny Hoenn Linoone by 1 stage, which means that shiny Obstagoon is now the fastest thing on the field right now after that amazing speed swap earlier in the battle. There's a chance for Linoone to take out the regular Obstagoon though and make it a one-on-one situation if it can get an attack off. Here's a Psy Strike though from the shiny Obstagoon. How much damage is that going to do to this poor shiny Hoenn Linoone? Didn't do a lot because it's a special attack, of course. That's very, very lucky there. And here is Sweet Scent lowering the evasiveness of Linoone, but giving Linoone another opportunity to attack. So Linoone needs to take advantage of that opportunity if it's got any chance of taking one of these Obstagoon down. It needs a fighting type move if possible. Goes for Facade. That will be powered up by the same type attack bonus. Takes down the regular Obstagoon there, so it's given itself an opportunity. It could stay in this contest. This could be a victory for the Linoone team. It just needs to get some super effective damage off onto that beastly +3 attack Obstagoon, who is going to go for Future Sight. Oh, interesting play, although that's a special attack. So Linoone might be okay against Future Sight if that's the only attack it takes in this battle. Linoone, though, is going to go for Explosion. Is that going to be enough to take down Obstagoon? Because if it's not, oh my word. It's not enough to take it down. It's thrown the game. Oh my word. So the Obstagoon team wins, but doesn't even get to use that +3 attack. That was so cruel by shiny Linoone. What a sore loser. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of these Zigzagoon evolutions do you prefer? Is it Linoone, Galarian Linoone, or Obstagoon? Let me know in the comments and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. And that'll do it for another episode of Form Fight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel like these lovely people down here do, please pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrinilium. And of course, use code ACE to save yourself some money on G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trinilium. Keep on training.